Jonny! Oh my god. He somehow maintains his humble look on his face even though he's in a Lamborghini. Hey.
What's up?
No, I'm nervous.
Why are you nervous?
Okay, I've never done an interview.
Really?
Yeah. Meet my friend Jonny. He started an exotic rental car company in high school and is a very successful entrepreneur. So today I had the pleasure of interviewing him and hearing his story. Alrighty. Hey there, girly pops. I just wanted to pop on here and explain before I spring this very different video. This is a series I've been wanting to start for so long. I realize that so many of my friends are very impressive people and they follow their dreams and they do it at such a young age. But I'm also genuinely friends with them and just love to visit them and see new cities. So I thought of this series idea where while I could vlog my very fun time with them, I could also interview them and see exactly how they pursued their dreams at such a young age. And this is something that could maybe give you guys the confidence to do something similar if you also want to take an unconventional path. But this is not a video supporting the narrative that in order to be successful you need to make $1 million and you need to make it when you're 15 years old. This is simply supposed to be a source of inspiration if you would like to do something a little bit more unconventional and you would like to hear the stories of other young people and how they've done it. So I'm specifically only interviewing people I'm genuinely friends with and that are really good-hearted people and not doing it just for the money, and I hope you guys really find inspiration from this video and from Jonny. Jonny lives in Seattle, so I'm packing my bag, taking a quick spontaneous trip there for like a day, and we're meeting Jade there. And if you don't know Jade Wangza, my bestest friend ever, she also has a channel. Oh, my hair is insane right now and I'm having such a bad allergy attack. It's gonna be so fun when we land. Jonny is going to take us in a BMW i8. You're going to learn all about his car company, but that is why we have access to this kind of car. Not that I really know what cars are, but I know that the one that we're gonna be in is like a very sought after expensive car. It's like my favorite thing in the world is just to visit friends. Oh gosh, everyone is looking. Sorry.
I think pull down this way.
No way! Okay guys, it's so small, you can't tell on camera. How did you start this? Let's start from the top.
So when I was 17, I started to want to like buy more things for myself, and I wanted to start having a little bit of dependency from my parents, right? Like, you know, I'm like, cool, 17, you know.
Independence.
Independency, yeah. Wait, what did I say?
You said dependency.
Oh, no, I meant independency.
Is that a word?
Yeah.
Independency.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're 17, it's kind of hard to find a job. I've always had this kind of like entrepreneurial spirit, and I wanted to kind of create something for myself. I had just gotten my first car ever, which was a Ford Explorer. That was around the time when I was starting to figure out how I could make a little bit of money so I could buy like maybe some like cool accessories for the car or something, you know? So I found this website that allowed me to rent out my own car, and I could price my car out for maybe about $50 a day. I thought that like, you know, this is pretty unique. Like I don't need to put in, you know, 40 hours a week in order to make some money, just let my car rent. So I found that there were actually a lot of clients who wanted to rent my Ford. They wanted to take it up skiing or just to like do some cool snow activities because we're here in Seattle. Being able to like respond to some of these messages, making sure that my customers, my clients had this like really unique kind of customer service aspect from someone who is young, who is energetic. I love that, and their responses to me always fueled me, you know? After a couple months of doing that, I thought I was kind of ready to take the next step. And when I did some market research around the Seattle Bellevue area, I noticed that there was actually no service that provided kind of more luxury cars for all the businessmen and women who were flying in and out of Seattle. There wasn't actually really anything in the Pacific Northwest that provided this. There were so many people who were flying in and out for the meetings just for a short weekend who maybe wanted something a little bit nicer than the like average Honda or Toyota. Like maybe they wanted a BMW or Mercedes to get from point A to point B. So after doing, again, a ton of market research and trying to build out what a revenue model might look like, took this idea to my friends and family and was able to get a tiny bit of funding to go and rent out a BMW 7 Series, or lease out, I'm sorry. It turns out all my projections were absolutely incorrect. I thought that I'd be able to rent out the car for about $300 a day off this website. I listed it, didn't get a response for a week. I lowered it to 250, didn't get a response, lowered it to 150, didn't get any responses. Like I was starting to freak out. I knew that like, okay, I'm not even gonna break even per month, you know? And finally I hit the sweet spot of $75 per day for renting this car. I was pretty frustrated, you know, it kind of stung a little bit. It was one of my first mistakes that I made because I should have maybe tested the market a little bit before. I was still able to at least break even every single month to pay off my lease payments, you know, start making a little bit of money off of it as well. A couple months later, I started doing more market research again, and a lot of my customers were coming coming up to me and saying like, hey Johnny, like great service, I love what you're doing, but maybe like next time I'm in town, I'd love to rent a Lamborghini.
Hi Johnny.
Oh hey, what's going on?
How's your flight behave?
But the city's stunning. So here we are in the heart of Washington, Seattle.
Oh, he just went on.
Yeah,
Welcome
so,
back to our channel. Swipe up.
Right now we're about to get some food. I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry, this is why I could never be a YouTuber.
I thought I was just getting B-roll, but you're giving me content.
What are we doing today?
Business meetings.
This was a
Having
business
business
dinner.
conversation.
She ordered chicken ramen without the chicken.
Okay, so for all you girly pops, this girl literally does not eat any vegetables at all, or protein, I guess.
My 3rd grade teacher said that I say water, like with a D, and I got in trouble, so I had to say water. Yeah.
Everyone says water.
Who says water?
I'd always laugh at these guys. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, I'm 17. There's like no way in hell that like I'm gonna be able to afford a Lamborghini. Even if I could buy one, there's like, I'm absolutely not renting out to you guys. Like, you're a bunch of strangers, you know? But I started getting so much feedback that this is what people wanted. Did the market research of what's available in Seattle, what's available in the Pacific Northwest, and again, there was absolutely nobody offering this kind of service. Built my revenue models again, but this time did it a little bit different. I found a picture of an Audi R8, posted on Craigslist and said, hey, you guys can rent this car for $350 a day, just email me. Shut my laptop for the night, went to bed, and woke up the next morning with 25 emails in my inbox. People were excited, they were ready to pay right now, pick up the car from anywhere I was. And I knew that this was the idea. This is what people really, really wanted. So took all this evidence, built my case, again, went to friends and family, and was able to get enough funding to buy literally the cheapest Audi R8 in the United States. It had 60,000 miles on it. It was purchased for about $45,000, which is like incredibly cheap for this car. Listed it on the website that I was currently renting on, and then eventually moved off to my own website, and that's kind of when things really started to snowball. Oh no, I voice cracked. Wait, I'll do it again. Yeah, I keep voice cracking. Okay.
Just like that. 1, 2, 3. Oh! Wait, one more time. We're doing a TikTok. We're teaching everyone how to grow on TikTok to their first 10,000 followers. Okay, here's how you do it. You have to think about the vision. We have a song that goes viral, and then we're gonna get Johnny. We're gonna show you step by step how to grow. Climb up and buy the course.
Wait, you could be super cringe. It could say like, we got kicked out of this restaurant, don't let it flop.
Yep.
That's like the most cringe.
That's another. Viral success. Don't let this flop, guys. Swipe up. Oh my god. And that's how you go on TikTok. That was awkward. This is how you get into IA. Let me show you a step-by-step tutorial.
Yeah, you gotta walk like a freaking baller.
You gotta stretch. Sorry, I didn't see that.
I'm gonna look back at the footage to see if you look.
I did not.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
I'm a good Christian boy.
Do it. You're gonna know something. I'm like, all you gotta do.
There's no way.
That would have been such a good TikTok.
Are you okay?
Okay. Dude, you just slide in.
Congratulations, you made it in.
How to get in the Audi R8? Okay. I mean,
It's part of the fun to, you know, be uncomfortable back here. 7 months after that, I had grown from my Ford, the BMW, and the Audi R8 to about 7 cars around my garage. We had gone a Bentley, we got a second Audi R8, but this time the V10 version. We had gone a Nissan GTR. People were like constantly emailing me. At this point, I'd moved on to my own website. I was starting to do my own Google AdWords and Facebook marketing. People calling me, texting me, emailing me all throughout the day. My mom was like getting super frustrated because somehow people had gotten my address. Like they were knocking on my house door, asking, where's Johnny? I want to rent a car. I don't know how people got my address. I didn't post it anywhere.
Wait.
Yeah.
So how did you get the funding to buy those cars?
So a lot of you guys have been asking Haley, how does she get the perfect Instagram photo? Wow, that is an adorable dog.
He is really awesome.
Oh my
Cooper.
goodness, Cooper! Cooper's amazing! So Ronnie and I, we decided to take Haley and Jade over to some of the most beautiful scenic spots here in Seattle. So here we are. This is our place for lunch.
Should we give a tour?
Yeah, let's give the tour of the lunch place.
it's called Women. 5 stars.
star. And while we're enjoying this view of Seattle, don't mind me. No, this is the beautiful view. For some reason, I only see 56 views of Seattle. I would never shamelessly plug my TikTok, that's for sure. Go check me out. So after I had this proof of concept and like a very clear way of generating revenue that was very net positive, I was able to get more funding from friends and family. And it was all under the same terms of how I was gonna split the money back with them.
So did you have contracts for this, or was this like a very casual, hey, I'm gonna pay you back?
At first, this was very, very casual, but once it started to become a larger sum of money where we had to purchase more and more expensive cars, that's where we started to create more contracts between each other. Although there's many ups and downs of working with friends and family, one of the perks is that there's a lot of trust and relationship between you guys. So it's not like this was a super, super intense investor where, you know, everything had to be bulletproof through lawyers. This was more of like a, you know, mutual understanding,
right.
Like protecting each other. And of course I kept my word, you know, and that came with time. Like I was 17, turning 18, and I was able to prove my credibility.
Doing right, get a sleazer.
Like a Nissan AI.
Like a Nissan AI.
Oh.
At this point, I'm a senior in high school. There's about 8 cars. I remember my spring quarter of my senior year, I felt so bad for this professor, but every time I'd always schedule my car pickups for my time in class with him. I'd always tell him I have to go to the bathroom, like my stomach hurts, I'm sorry. I'd drive to my house, go get the car, clean it, detail it, get gas, drop it off for my client, Uber back to class or run back to class depending on where the drop off was, and make it right before the bell ended. And my professor's like, oh my God, like what's going on with your stomach, man? I'm like, I'm sorry. Like I just ate something bad. This happened like almost every single day. Every time I had class with him, I felt so guilty, but I knew that if I wanted to make this work, it's like about the hustle, you know? It was really, really hard for me to figure out how to balance like my friends, my family. I was studying for the ACT because I was getting ready to go to college. I had all these different applications. I had my own homework and schoolwork, and then this business with 7 or 8 cars with clients texting me, my own website, marketing. It was getting really, really challenging for me to do. Graduation came. My team and I had some helpers at this point just to help me like detail the cars and get people like get all the contracts signed with all the clients. We decided like this operation cannot happen at my own house anymore. We need to like actually have a physical location, especially like to legitimize this as well. If people are spending, you know, X amount of cash to come and rent a nice car, they don't expect to show up to some 18-year-old's house, right? And my mom also was like getting so frustrated and also scared, you know, like we have so many strangers coming in and out. So we moved to this really tiny 1,000 square foot showroom. And that summer was so defining for the entire business.
What happened, Jade?
I got coffee on my new shoes.
All right, guys, bit go too far.
So when people say bit, do they mean for the Bitcoin?
Wait, okay, what is this place called?
It's called Gasworks Park. This is like right on the outskirts of the city. So you get this really beautiful view, and then we'll go into the city, and it's really, really nice. So we gotta climb up this little hill thing. This is Haley's CrossFit for the day.
Okay. Seattle is gorgeous. I'm having such a fun time. Gorgeous!
And now I owe her $5 because I thought she was gonna slip and fall. It's a beautiful snowy day here in Seattle.
Hey, is that snow not from here? Is that snow?
Yeah, it just snowed last night actually. Here's the remains. We have like really special snowflakes. They're really something beautiful out here. We grew from about 8 cars to 25 cars over the summer. Every single weekend we were completely sold out. I had about 4 employees helping me at this point. It was just about dealing with the clients, like that customer service aspect.
And you didn't even need to market.
And I didn't even need to market. There's so, like the word of mouth marketing, we were the only people in the Pacific Northwest to do this. We had people flying in from across the United States and so many renters locally in Bellevue and Seattle who wanted the experience of driving an exotic car that they knew they would never be able to have again. It was worth the, you know, the lack of sleep or the, you know, the amount of time I had to put into the business because I loved making people happy through this business and giving them that memorable experience for the rest of their life. Summer came to an end. It was such a hectic 3 months, and in Seattle, you know, it starts to rain, so the business starts to slow down a little bit when it's raining. People don't want to drive a 600 horsepower Lamborghini through the rain because that's a little dangerous. I headed off to college, and from there I ran the operations remotely. At this point we had a chief of marketing, we had a fleet operations manager, and then we had a chief operations officer as well. So these guys I was able to communicate with daily, making sure that the operations were still growing and doing well. We figured out like what cars people actually wanted. We kind of downsized from 25 cars to 20, but made sure those 20 were really, really hot picks. And finally, we moved to this showroom that Zadard is still currently held at, which is 7,500 square feet. I ran that operation for about a year. I was trying to balance school. I was trying to do everything. I knew that I was spreading myself too thin. I wasn't able to give enough attention to the business. I knew I was going to let down myself. I was going to let down my team. I was going gonna let down, you know, my friends and family. So I had to make the really, really hard decision to sell, you know, literally my baby, something that I grew. It was a really hard decision, and like I really felt like a part of my identity was gone the day that we sold it.
How much did you sell it for?
Nah, I don't say. It's a pretty private number to me. Like, the business was profitable, we came out net positive, and the new owner was able to also like continue to run this business in a positive way. Those 2.5 years of running this business was completely invaluable, and something that I think everybody to some degree should take up a little bit of time in entrepreneurship.
Okay, I want to ask you about college because I find it so interesting that you had such a successful business and still went to college. And you're a senior now, right?
Yeah.
So can you talk about if you found it valuable, if you regret it, if you think other entrepreneurs should go?
It's a hard topic. I think for someone who's debating whether they should go to school or continue their entrepreneurial venture, there's a lot of value in trying to balance both. But in my opinion, the moment that your venture starts to outweigh the school in terms of the benefits and in terms of your time, I think that's an indicator that you might want to start focusing and shifting your attention to that venture. Honestly, school will always be there and it's always an option. My venture was the right time at the right place. If I wanted to start that business right now, it would be completely different. I don't know if it would be as successful. Maybe it would be more successful. Maybe it would be less successful. I have no idea. It was happening right then, and I was not in a position to try and stop that.
So for the person watching this who is maybe considering if it's worth it, since, you know, college tuition is insanely pricey, would you say that it's more of a luxury or a necessity to go to college if you want to be an entrepreneur?
A luxury. It is a necessity to have a degree today to get so many jobs. But for an entrepreneur who's like building up their resume, who's building up their skills, who's building up their network, I think it's more of a luxury for you to have that opportunity, and I don't think it's a necessity.
Ew, guys, that's so stupid. Ew.
There's gonna be so much gum in my mouth.
Oh my god, Jonny, I didn't actually want to. You have to hold it till the gum wall. Wait, oh, it'd be so funny if you stuck that out. Okay, we gotta go.
I'm down. I don't want some gum.
She's gonna think you're so hot after this video and take you back.
Change my mind.
Change my mind.
Here we are. Well,
They used to be like way more gum, but they had to
they
shave
clean it
everything
every
off.
so often because the acid in people's saliva actually deteriorates the brick. And it leaves like permanent damage. In order to make up for it, we're all gonna leave our mark forever. We're gonna leave a big mark here.
People putting their freaking business cards. That's so gross.
That was in my mouth?
Moving.
No. It's a lie. Wait, I wanna chew some more.
No. Oh, mine's blue.
Wait, we should make a face or something. This is so disgusting.
Oh, good.
Oh, bad.
Really?
This is sour.
Pussy. But it is unusual.
Get back on there and stay. You are a landmark of time now. Stay.
I want to know about what it was like in high school. Like, did people treat you differently, or
Yeah.
what was the experience with friends? Did that relationship change? Did people ask you to pay for stuff?
Yeah, my best friends were so incredibly supportive of this. We always teased because when I first started and shared my idea, like, feel like, Jonny, there's no way this is gonna work, you know? At the end of the day, it did, and that's always like funny to tease back and forth about. But there were a lot of people in my high school who, I never understood it, but they just started to treat me differently in a really negative way. Like if we were out to group dinners, like I was still a kid, like I had my own budget, I had my own allowance, just like any other kid, you run out of your budget every month. And if I said like, hey guys, like I'm sorry, I can't go out to dinner because I don't have enough money right now, they'd say like, oh Jonny, sell like a mirror in your Lamborghini, that's worth a couple $1,000s, you'll be able to like pay for all our dinners. And it was just comments like that were so unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I felt like I was under everybody's watch. Everyone was trying to find a hole to try and jab me in. It was really painful. If somebody you know is starting a company, they are gonna be working their butt off to make that happen, and more than anything, that's when they need your support. Even if you don't know them that well. I just had some people who gave me the exact opposite and did treat me significantly different because of that, and because they knew like some of the money came from friends and family. In my defense, like how's a 17-year-old gonna get a bank loan with no credit score, with no history? Right? It is challenging. I think like, again, if you are an entrepreneur, you have to be ready to not only just deal with the business like mentally and financially, but it's gonna take an emotional toll on you as well in all aspects, from like socially to also the business side. And you have to be a little bit prepared for that.
I think it's interesting how young, successful entrepreneurs get treated, because it's like the success dehumanizes you in a way, even though you feel just like the other senior citizens sitting next to you in the classroom.
Exactly.
But you can never express that to them because to them,
Exactly.
you're not even human anymore just because of this thing that you've created.
I have a bunch of best friends. I live with 7 other guys, and they all know that I started this company and I'm working on a couple more, but they don't treat me differently because of it. They like really let me live my life as a college kid. I value that so much. At the end of the day, like they're also just kids, you know, like they're going through some of the same trouble, some of the like same issues, whatever it may be that you are. Just because, you know, someone you know is an entrepreneur doesn't mean that they want or need that kind of extra attention. Like they just want to be normal, just like the next person, right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
My first interview. Thanks, Jonny.
Oh, hey guys. I would never, ever, ever take this opportunity to plug my Instagram at Jonny Netz. But if anyone has any questions, you could find me and you can shoot me a message. I'm more than happy to give anybody any sort of advice. Entrepreneurship is an incredible opportunity. It's a blast. Like, I would not trade it for the world. So please shoot out to me, email me, Facebook message me, DM me.
For girlfriend inquiries, that sort of thing.
Because yeah, I'm happy to help, happy to give some advice, just happy to share my perspective about this whole thing.
Happy to take you on a date.
Whoa, I didn't say that. This car can literally spit fire. Like fireballs come from its exhaust. I'm not kidding you.
Fire.
I'm being dead serious. You're laughing? I'm being serious. You know how to drive, right?
No, I think I don't. Wait.
Push that and then pull down.
Why would I be in sport?
Well, it's a little bit more power.
Wow, it's so easy to It's weird that it looks like
Oh yeah, you have the
hologram.
hologram, right?
Yeah.
This is the most grandma-like driving I have ever seen. But I don't blame you. Okay, big girl.
And you can brake so fast.
Oh yeah.
No
Okay.
wonder you drive the way you do.
Okay. Now, are you ready for the Lamborghini?
Yeah, for sure.
Perfecto. Lily is like legitimately 4'10", and I just sat in her seat that she's been sitting in for like the last 24 hours, and I honestly feel like I have bruises in my kneecaps right now.
This is what I do when I'm happy.
Whoa! This is how you get in the IRS.
Drive an IRS, you just walk in, grab it, sit
Grab
in
it.
Then you can pop that bad boy down.
Have you guys seen this TikTok dance?
Oh yeah.
Right?
No.
Can you talk about what you're working on now?
Right now, I'm working on 2 other companies. If you're thinking about a business, it does not need to be the most creative, the most unique idea. Find a problem that's in everybody's everyday life and just provide a solution. Most companies are gonna fail because there's no meaningful solution, or maybe there's not even a problem in the first place, or maybe you don't know how to market it. If you can just find a problem and create that solution in a very effective, seamless way, there's going to be a business available for you. And second thing is find something you're passionate about, and that passion will drive you and fuel you towards that success. The other 2 companies that I'm working on, one is a gaming platform within the esport realm, people who are looking to compete at a more competitive level and who are feeling comfortable enough where they're willing to play for cash and prizes.
Can't wait to try.
So I've been a gamer my whole life, so excited. This has been 1 year in the works. And the second one is an application where we are trying to simplify the way that people connect in person. You'd be able to share up to 24 pieces of information about yourself and do that in a way that's seamless. You push a button and within half a second, you'll be able to share all that information with somebody else. That's a very exciting project as well. And both of them are very, very close to launch. I'm so excited to see what those turn out like. But yeah, this is what I love doing.
Yay! Thanks, Jonny.
You're most welcome.